What's up, guys? So today I've got a little bit of a rant. So Quantic Dream, the creators behind Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, and Beyond Two Souls, yeah, their next game is going to be a live service game. Keep in mind that Quantic Dream's last game was Detroit Become Human in 2018. Apparently since then they've increased the size of their team by a lot, but since then they have nothing to show besides this new game called Spellcasters Chronicles, I believe. I have to make sure because, I haven't even really checked the name of this game. That's how little I care about this game. But look, it's not necessarily about what I think, whether I care about it or not, but what everybody thinks, right? And the general consensus around games like this is that they are just unwanted, especially now over the past few years. And especially with the fact that this is a team, Quantic Dream, they're known for their heavily story-driven games. A lot of people criticize them for being like movie video games, quote unquote, and I don't, really agree with that. To an extent, I do, but when you look at something like Beyond Two Souls or even Detroit Become Human, I don't completely agree with that. You're not outright running around, driving cars, shooting people, no, but there's still action sequence. Is a, they're both, I'd say, heavily action-oriented games. Heavy Rain, I believe, does have some to it. I don't know too much about it. I haven't played it, but Beyond Two Souls and Detroit Become Human, yeah, those games have some action to them. But when you take a studio whose, their main thing is making story-driven games like that, and then you go on after, what, like, it's 8 years, and your next game is a live service multiplayer game, 3v3, that looks, I would say, pretty similar to any other game in its genre. And really that's where like the second issue lies, is that how will this game be different from any other game in this category? What will this Spellcasters Chronicles game bring to the table that every other live service game doesn't have? If the answer is nothing, then as soon as this game comes out, most likely a week or two, maybe a month after, the game is dead. There are so many stories, so many examples of games, companies trying to do this, trying to follow this live service trend after however many years past its prime, and they have nothing to show for it after the game comes out. There's so many examples of these games just failing because, the most recent example with PlayStation specifically, remember Quantic Dream is a PlayStation studio, they're under PlayStation. The most recent example, Concord. Pretty sure there was an absurd amount of money put into Concord, and what, the game didn't even last a week. They pulled it from stores, you can't buy it digitally, bro. It's terrible. And now we have Quantic Dream, which I would say they're actually one of the best PlayStation teams, one of the best PlayStation developer teams. Now they're making this 3v3 multiplayer live service game. And this for me begs the question, exactly what are these? Okay, it's most likely not them, right? I'm gonna go for Sony right now. Exactly what is Sony and PlayStation, what are they thinking? You think specifically after Concord that any plans for future live service game, you might just ask them, just because, I mean, you have the prime example right there. Apparently, again, they put an absurd amount of money, into Concord, and they had nothing to show for it at the end of the day. And apparently Concord was also in development for 6 or 7 years. I don't know how much that is true, but if that's the case, then that's even more unfortunate for them. Another thing I kind of just want to say is that when I heard that, of all people, Quantic Dream was making a game like this, it just made no sense to me, again, because this isn't their forte. Like, I was watching a YouTuber podcast now, and you might have heard of him. Cool guy, cool videos. I watch him all the time. Check him out. But yeah, like what he said was kind of funny. He was like, bro, they have no business making a game. Quantic Dream has no business making a live service multiplayer game. And honestly, it's true because, bro, like, you think like anybody else, I would be like, okay, I guess that makes sense. But Quantic Dream, bro, the people who made Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, those guys, I feel like this goes against everything they've done. I guess the only thing I can say is that I hope this game has something different compared to other games that can, stand out, and that makes it stand out. Something that makes other people actually want to try and play it for a little bit, at least for like a few months, right? Because if not, this game right now has like no hype behind it. People don't exactly want to play it. I think a lot of the, reviews, I think some people did play it. They just say the game's kind of okay, and that's it. And the problem is, okay isn't good enough, especially with the genre they're trying to go into. If they made a game similar to any of the other games they made and it was just okay, that's completely different, because they're known for making those types of games, and it would actually most likely perform better than the game that they're putting out now. But if you put out a live service multiplayer game, 3v3, looks like, I'm just gonna say Concord and all these other games, Overwatch. If you put out a game like that and it's simply just okay, bro, okay actually means terrible. You need it to be great, excellence. That's why all these other games that actually, I guess you could say, perfected the live service thing, that's why they're still around. Now, Quantic Dream is still working on another game, one similar to the games that they've put out in the past years, Star Wars Eclipse. But this was announced back in 2021, and I completely forget about this game all the time. I kind of every now and then go around and check what Quantic Dream is working on, and I always forget every single time that they're working on Star Wars Eclipse. Like, I'll go and look up, when does Quantic Dream have a game coming out, right? Star Wars Eclipse. That's the only game that comes out because, I mean, it was announced back in 2021, but they've had nothing to show for it since then. And now they come out and show this game, but I believe this is by, well, they made a new studio. They hired some people, made a new studio for this specific game. So it's an interesting case for sure. But unfortunately, I think we can all see where this case leads. We see how it's going to end. We have infinite examples, honestly. One being from like a sister studio from PlayStation, Concord. Honestly, all these live service games, all these companies who have like no business doing live service games and trying to get into this live service meta, I guess you can call it, it comes to one conclusion for me: money laundering. Because there's absolutely no other way, there's no other reason that you would do this, knowing that you'll most likely fail. A few months ago, I made a video talking about how Warner Brothers' next game, I forgot if it was gonna be a Batman game or something, but they're trying to make it a live service game again. When I heard that, after they canceled like the Wonder Woman game, a Flash game, all these other games, when I heard that, I was like, there's absolutely no other explanation other than money laundering, because why do you keep doing this to yourself? But yeah, Quantic Dream, best of luck to them. I really hope, I just hope for their sake, this game has something different that makes it not die day one. But if it does, it's just another lesson to PlayStation, showing them that they should stay away from these live service games. PlayStation, that's not their thing. Their thing is, story-driven action adventure games, single-player games. That's really what made PlayStation what it is, and that's still what it is today. And it seems like they're trying to go away from that, which I don't know why you'd want to do that when clearly it's the thing that's been working for you forever. But yeah, just let me know what you guys think. As always, are you excited for this game? I don't think anybody's excited for this game, but let me know what you think in the comments. Are you disappointed? Are you just like, whatever? Are you still waiting on them to show more of that Star Wars Eclipse game? Let me know in the comments. As always, if you enjoyed the video, like it up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.